Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Blitz. Let's get straight into the storyline. The story begins by showing a policeman named Tom Brandt. At that time, he was enjoying coffee in his apartment. From a distance, he saw several young men breaking into cars in the parking lot. Tom immediately approached them with a hockey stick. Tom suddenly beat them mercilessly. From here, we know that Tom is not an ordinary cop, but the most brutal cop in the city. Tom is so brutal that he is often called and scolded by his superiors. This time, Tom was called in because he had committed a lot of violence in the last few days, including beating up the thugs last night. But in the end, the police could not fire him because Tom threatened to be more brutal if he was fired from the police. It wasn't long before Tom met a policewoman named Falls. Falls used to be an undercover intel cop who became a drug dealer. Unfortunately, she became addicted and had to be rehabilitated. After her rehab was complete, she failed to be promoted to sergeant, even though she had sacrificed quite a lot. As a result, Falls only became a policewoman with a not too high position. After returning from work, Tom visited his best friend, Inspector Roberts. Tom expressed his condolences because Robert had just lost his beloved wife, and as a friend, of course, Tom tried to cheer him up by taking Robert for a drink at the bar. At the same time, there was a policeman named Sandra who was patrolling a deserted road. It was on that lonely road that Sandra was suddenly shot by someone unknown. The incident caused the police to be in an uproar because someone had killed the police. Tom was then appointed to investigate the case. Without wasting time, Tom invited Falls to come to the crime scene. Once there, Falls immediately recognized Sandra's face, who turned out to be a classmate at the police academy. After further investigation, Tom finally found an eyewitness who saw the perpetrator from a distance. Before explaining the incident, the witness claimed to have seen Tom brutalizing at a billiards place. Since then, Tom has been considered a legend. In short, the eyewitness also revealed the characteristics of the perpetrator. The next day, a new inspector named Porter Nash was brought in to replace Robert temporarily. Porter was then introduced to the other police officers, including Tom and his division. During a break, Falls came to see Tom for help. Falls wanted to help her friend, who was accused of being a murderer, even though he never did it. But at the moment, Tom is focused on catching Sandra's killer, so he can't help her. Tom then suggested that Falls contact a detective named Craig Stokes. On the other hand, there is a journalist named Dunlop, who is suddenly contacted by a mysterious figure with the nickname Blitz. He suddenly claimed to be a serial killer who had killed Sandra. Not only that, he also claimed to have just killed one other policeman and intends to kill 8 more. After receiving the call, the journalist immediately contacted the police, and it turned out that what Blitz said was true. He had killed a policeman in the middle of the road. The case soon became so serious that the police declared it a serial killer case. Tom teams up with Porter to investigate the killer, but they have different methods. Porter focuses more on CCTV cameras and other physical evidence. Tom, on the other hand, chooses to meet informants in the criminal world.
He knows where the cameras are. No, that's not.
After getting information from several people, Tom finally met Radner, who was an informant in the city. But Radner did not want to provide information before getting paid. Hearing that, Tom immediately gripped Radner's hand so hard that the bone almost broke. Because of the pain, Radner was willing to provide information for free. He was even willing to pay for the drinks ordered by Tom so that he would not be tortured again. According to Radner, there was a young man who was very suspicious. He is an employee at a gym called Peacock Gym. But before going there, Tom decided to visit Porter's house. Arriving there, Tom immediately poured a drink casually, even though Porter had not offered it. Tom then asked his new boss for advice on how to control the brutality inside him. Tom often experiences blackouts without realizing it. Porter said that he had also experienced the same thing when he was assigned to arrest a pedophile. He always failed because the perpetrator was a famous and powerful person, until finally he got fed up and decided to beat the pedophile until he was seriously injured.
Fucking popped.
The next day, Tom and Porter worked together to investigate a serial murder case. After tracing information from Radner, they finally found an employee at the gym named Barry Weiss. The two of them immediately went to his house, and it turned out that Barry was Blitz, the police killer who was being sought by the police. Tom and Porter searched his house for the gun used to kill his victim. Unfortunately, they couldn't find any evidence from the house, so Barry couldn't be arrested. Before leaving, Tom remembers that he met Barry a year ago when Tom beat him to a pulp. When they both left Barry's house, Barry immediately prepares to commit his next murder. Meanwhile, outside the house, Radner was secretly watching Barry. Barry didn't realize he was being watched by Radner. At the time, Radner was trying to get information that could be sold to the police. Long story short, Barry follows his target from behind, and it turns out that his target this time is Inspector Roberts. Barry then disguised himself as a TV repairman to be allowed into his house. Luckily, Roberts immediately realized that Barry was not a repairman, so the two of them fought each other. It was seen that Barry had a strong physique despite being thin, but Roberts continued to fight back. Finally, Barry hit Roberts with a hammer to death. After killing Roberts, Barry still took the time to watch his favorite show at Roberts' house. Barry also stole some items there. After being satisfied, he immediately set fire to the house. Then he contacted Dunlop again and asked him to get Roberts' murder reported as soon as possible. Barry then hid the evidence in the trunk of the car before leaving there. On the other hand, Porter told Tom his best friend had been killed by the Blitz. Hearing that immediately made Tom angry. He wanted to catch the culprit immediately. While the police are busy looking for Blitz, Radner secretly examines the evidence hidden by Barry. He then contacted Dunlop and said that he knew Blitz's true identity and had the evidence used to kill. But if he wants the information, then Dunlop must pay him money. At the same time, Tom and Porter were investigating a report from forensics. There, he found a Peacock Gym member badge. As a result, Tom becomes increasingly suspicious of Barry. It's just that he needs to find evidence and motive for Barry's murder. Tom then checked Barry's background and found some criminal history, and it turned out that Barry was often troubled in many places. It's just that he doesn't have a severe criminal record, such as murder or robbery. At the same time, Radner and Dunlop finally met to exchange information. After checking the evidence referred to by Radner, Dunlop also gave some money to Radner. But they didn't realize that Barry was watching from a distance. When they left, Barry immediately secured the evidence. After that, he followed Radner into the restroom. Then, without thinking, he killed Radner on the spot. Radner's death was immediately heard by the police, while Dunlop can only be pensive because the money given to Radner has disappeared. As a result, he also suffered losses because he did not get information on the perpetrators of the murder. Dunlop then told Tom and Porter that the evidence of the murder was in a car trunk, but after opening it, all the items were gone. At the same time, Falls was on leave because she wanted to help her friend who was accused of murder. According to Tom's recommendation, he finally met a detective named Craig Stokes. Falls asks for help so that her friend doesn't get punished. Craig can help her as long as Falls wants to have dinner with him. It turns out that Craig liked Falls at first sight, but they didn't realize that Barry was watching from a distance. The scene moves to Tom, who is checking Barry's criminal record. Here, he just realized that all the policemen Barry killed were the ones who had arrested him. The motive is seen if Barry wants revenge and has been planning his actions for a long time. After further investigation, it turns out that Barry was also arrested by Falls. Tom immediately contacted Falls to make sure she was okay. Unfortunately, Barry was already in front of Falls' house and immediately attacked her. But it turns out Falls got help from her friend. Annoyed that his action was thwarted, Barry killed Falls' friend. Shortly after that, Tom and other police officers arrive to investigate the murder. Here, Tom tells Porter that Barry is the culprit. Tom then calmed Falls, who was still shocked that her best friend was the victim of murder. The next day, Tom and Porter searched Barry's house, but Barry had fled from his house. As a result, they notified the media to report that Barry was officially a fugitive. It didn't take long for Tom to get Barry's latest location. When the police raided his hideout, Barry immediately escaped through the window. And this time, Tom wasn't going to let Barry get away with it. Tom kept running after Barry. After a long chase, Tom finally managed to corner Barry. But when he was about to beat him up, the police immediately came and arrested Barry, because Tom was ready to kill Barry. Later that night, Tom and Porter wanted to interrogate him, but Barry wanted to be accompanied by his lawyer. They were forced to comply with his wishes so that he would cooperate. But after the interrogation, the police still haven't found any strong evidence. And if there is no evidence, then Barry must be released according to the rules. Because of the legal system like that, Tom also invited Porter to punish Barry with violence. However, Porter did not agree with the idea because they would definitely be fired from the police department. Tom then met Barry in the interrogation room. At first, he wanted to beat him up, but he tried to restrain himself after remembering Porter's words. Tom recalled the incident 1 year ago when he brutalized and beat Barry to a pulp. Tom suspected that Barry had a grudge against the police since then. Tom also told him to confess instead of being found guilty and eventually sentenced to death. Even if not punished, Tom would make sure Barry got what he deserved. After that, the police locked him up in a prison cell until the investigation was completed. Falls, on the other hand, seemed even more stressed after her friend died. She even resorted to stealing drugs from a drug dealer. She then used drugs to relieve her stress. Besides taking drugs, she also invited her male friends to party at her house. Craig heard the news, and because he felt sorry for her, he asked Tom for help to wake Falls up. As a good friend, Tom immediately kicked out Falls' male friend and then secured Falls, who was drunk. Tom then gave her medicine so that Falls could wake up quickly. Falls also felt that she was very messed up. She used to pretend to be an addict when she was undercover, but now she is a real addict pretending to be a cop. The next day, Barry was released because Tom and Porter failed to find strong evidence. Before leaving the police station, he promised to kill Tom if he met him again. The next day, Tom and other police officers attend the funeral of Roberts, who has just finished an autopsy. Soon after, Barry joined the funeral disguised as a policeman. Here, Tom already knew Barry's whereabouts. He left when the event was not over. Tom then contacted his subordinates who were assigned to watch Barry's house, and according to them, Barry had not left the house since last night. Even so, he was convinced that Barry was following him. Tom finally took Barry to a quiet place. Once there, Barry immediately followed Tom, who walked to the roof of the building.
Hey! Turn around, you fucker!
But when he turned around, it turned out that the person he was following was Porter. Then suddenly, Tom appeared and beat Barry to a pulp. He had planned this trap with Porter. They were very disappointed that Barry was released just like that. After torturing him, Porter gives Barry's gun to Tom to avenge the deaths of his colleagues. Barry said that this incident would definitely expose him. But Tom said that the one who had killed Barry, who was wearing a police uniform, was a serial killer named Blitz, who liked to kill policemen. Tom shot Barry dead. From that night, Tom decided to judge all criminals who were immune to the law. And the movie is over. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment.